Some of you were wondering what I was thinking of the lance in Monster Hunter Wilds. Well, maybe it was more like a lot of you. Well, I like it, but it's not doing so good. You could say that popularity stats do not matter and that the lance will always remain somewhat of an unpopular weapon, and I would honestly agree. But I do think that at the same time they can also indicate the state of a weapon. I mean, look at the gun lance. That weapon was scoring even lower than the lance. And it's way better now, and it's also no longer unpopular. If a weapon consistently scores this low, then that's usually a sign that something's off. Ask me how I know. But at the end of the day, it's mostly just opinions. Now in my opinion, this right here is the most badass change they could have made, and they went and did it. Finally, we can shield people from every projectile move and walk into beams like it's a minor inconvenience. So I'm happy regardless. Now when it comes to you guys, your opinion seems rather divided. Some dislike the changes, some seem to love it. Personally, I'm somewhere in between, but it's an overall step in the right direction. Now before you go to the comments and call me a noob because I just don't know how to play this weapon or whatever you want to complain about this time, you should probably realize that I've spent more hours on the lance and it's healthy for me. Seriously, I did the math not too long ago and yeah, I'm almost ashamed of it. I played all Monster Hunter games, including the obscure ones like Monster Hunter Frontier, and I came to the realization that I'm approaching the 10,000 hour mark playing Monster Hunter games. Now let's say roughly half of that was the lance, and yeah, don't try this at home kids, especially not if you want to remain sane. 5,000 hours of lancing is kinda stupid. Now, what are my thoughts on this majestic poke stick? Well, it's a bit underwhelming. Let's go over the good stuff. Perfect Guard is now part of the base moveset, so this can even be triggered on accident as you no longer have to purposefully equip it like you did in Monster Hunter Rise. This Perfect Guard has follow-up moves that are new and that I quite like. My favorite is the Retribution Thrust, or whatever it's called. It's so satisfying. Yeah, stick that lance right up it. It's way better than that weird swipe that they forced you to do in Monster Hunter Rise, although the swipe does still exist. Some of these follow-ups you can also do after a normal or a super guard. Counters will now go through attacks from monsters if timed correctly and will deal more damage if done so. And other than that, the last forward poke in the combo is now a triple hit. Yeah, that's about it. And this is also where the disappointment sets in. It's not that these changes aren't good, in fact they're great. It's just that we kinda needed something new and more. I already came to this conclusion after my previous lance video, but it gets worse if you try out the other weapons in Wilds. Like the hammer can now dodge whenever they want without losing the charge and it has iframes. You can dodge out of their moves faster. The upswing attack is now a counter. You can get an all new move called the Mighty Charge that lets you bonk like never before. The longsword charges their spirit gates like 4 times faster. It goes up a gauge level when hitting a wound attack. It's got new moves with new animations when in level 3 gauge, even a new counter animation. The Helmbreaker gets a new follow-up attack. On the dual blades, well-timed dodges give you an attack boost and you can also do attacks while dodging. It's got new animations for the blade dance that looks sick. You can even move around while doing the blade dance and it can be cancelled halfway so you no longer have to stand there missing all your attacks when the monster is moved and you're still going smacking the air like a blind idiot trying to fight ghosts. The lance, meanwhile, better counters, more pokes. As good as it is, it's just not that exciting, and I think that that's the real reason that it's at the bottom. You especially find out after a monster is down and you're ready to kick his ass, but you realize that the best you can do is poke, 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 because all of those follow-up attacks rely on blocking or countering something. Now mind you, I'm not saying that poke 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 is bad, in fact I like it, please do never remove this. But it could use something more, you know, something extra. But at least it's not a massive issue, as there is something worse. In fact, there's now something that I dislike about the lance. And that is the controls, well, part of it. The circle button, or B on Xbox, or whatever that translates to on PC, can now also activate your counter. Like, did they forget that this weapon has a shield button for shield related stuff? I mentioned before that I have far too many hours on this weapon, and well, as you could imagine, this messes up my combos as I'm so used to doing the upward spoke a million times in a row that I end up going into a counter when I really want to attack, as this usually ends up with me getting hit because it now does this stupid counter every time I want to attack a second time after a power guard. Heck, I'm pressing what should be an attack button, not a shield button. But even after getting used to this, and I now no longer get hit because of it, it just feels wrong. Like, how am I doing combos, aka multiple different attacks in a row with one button? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Luckily, this can be avoided, so it's really not that big a deal. But it does bother me every once in a while. Let me know what you guys think of this change, because I'm seriously curious to hear what you all think. And I think that this is also where the divide comes from that I seem to notice in my comments, as some people seem to love it and others really don't. And I think this is because the people that don't like it are used to the older controls more, but perhaps I'm wrong. I also put up a poll to see what you guys thought so far, and once again here you can see that the opinions are split. I guess this is kind of telling that the lance still, even though better, isn't really in the perfect spot yet. Now I wish the bad stuff about the lance would stop here, but unfortunately there's more that holds it back. When I first saw the skill system in Wilds, I thought that it was great. Finally we'll have to make proper armor sets again, because you can't just stack damage skills all the time, as attack decos are reserved for weapon slots only. Yeah, that didn't turn out too great. First of all, you can still slot in damage skills in the armor, just simply not as many. But then I found out that skills like guard and guard up can only go on weapons. What the? The first time I saw this, I thought I'll just create some talismans. Hehehe, find a way around the system. Yeah, nope, doesn't exist. Unless I haven't unlocked them yet, which I highly doubt, but evasion and evade extender are right there. And the decos for evasion skills also go on the armor, which basically means another shield weapon nerf? As if the lance wasn't already hard enough to get into. But I do have to say that this far I haven't really missed the guard skill, and I've just seriously completely ignored its existence. I am around hunter rank 100, so I don't know if this is going to change in the later endgame stuff. I'm afraid it will, but if not, then it might actually be better than before. I guess they just simply reduced the knockback on attacks without having guard equipped. But regardless, this still means that it will be harder to stack damage skills than with other weapons. I personally don't mind this as much, as I never really played full meta, but it is one of those things making the lance less appealing to people, especially with the endgame of newer Monster Hunter games forcing you into playing the meta with their damage thresholds. And so here we are, lance is at the bottom once again. Now I'm perfectly fine with the lance being in last place, but the distribution of weapon usage could be a bit better. I have come to the realization, however, that it's never gonna be good, because the only solution is to literally have less people play the longsword, and that's just not gonna happen. Now at this point I'm going to have to accept that the lance will forever be in last place, as it's obvious that the guard and the guard up skills will keep on hindering it from being an attractive weapon in the endgame. All in all, I like the changes though, and I do think that the weapon is in a lot better spot than before. I just hope that it holds up in the endgame, especially as the DLC isn't even out yet. Now, something completely different. I want to get something off my chest, okay? I want to quickly thank everyone for their comments on my last Lance video, because at the end of the day, I just want to share thoughts with everyone, and even though some people take my videos way too serious, most comments were great. So a sincere thank you to everyone who watches my videos, leaves a comment, and who likes and subscribes. Now, we'll have to see what the DLC brings to Wilds, but until then, just enjoy playing the game. All the stats are really not that important, just go have fun. Go bully some Gravios or something. Now, if you like my stupid jokes, check out my channel for more, and if you've made it this far into the video, you're a real one. So here's a little sneak peek. Gunlance videos in the workings. Stay tuned. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Thanks for watching.